Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So, sister, let me tell you a story about the roses. And how to just ask for your own damn fucking roses. This is a story about roses, but it's not really about roses. It's a bigger picture at plan here, at hand. Just like you've been listening to the podcast for a while, these are stories that are shared with you. This is real life. These are things that have meaning and the lessons that I found in this experience. And this one happens to be about roses. So let me explain here. So I like flowers. Not all women like flowers. I like flowers. I like fresh flowers in the house. But I like receiving flowers from my husband. And my husband used to get me flowers on kind of the traditional times, right? Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, birthday. And I would mention to him and kind of drop these hints. And be like, if you want to give me flowers more often, like that would be great. Or, there's a lot of the warrior guys that give their wives flowers every week. Like, if you wanted to do that, I would be okay with that. Like, it was this non-direct way of asking for something, but I wasn't really directly asking it. And then I would get pissed when it didn't happen, when I wasn't clear about it. And I found myself kind of going down this path many times, and I'm like, it's silly, I can just get my own fucking roses. Like, who the fuck cares, right? And it was like, no, I wanted to receive roses from my husband. And then about 6 months ago, it literally hit me, and I was just like, you know what? Why don't I just fucking ask him for what I want? Why don't I just be clear? Why don't I drop the stories of he should just be able to read my mind, and this isn't romantic if I basically spell out what I want and what I need and how that makes me feel when that thing's done and the reason behind it. Because that's the stuff that was holding me back, right? From being direct. I'm like, if I just go and ask him, it's like, that's not really the way it's supposed to work. The whole Ryan Gosling 50 Shades of Grey, that's the way it's supposed to go down, right? Again, like great fantasies, movies, interesting, entertaining, sexy, not necessarily real life. And then, 6 months ago, I literally had the conversation with it, and I just said, listen, honey, this is what I would really love. I would love for you to have flowers delivered to me every single week. I'm sure you can call the local florist and most likely just have a card on file and say, please send my wife roses every single week on this day. Here's my card. And he said, okay. And I get flowers every week, usually on Tuesday. Now, why do I share this with you? It's not because my husband is some miraculous man. He is an incredible fucking husband. Don't get me wrong. He is amazing. But yet it simply came down to asking for what I wanted. So what holds us back, right? And this is I don't know, what it costs to have roses delivered, like $30-$40 a week. It's not a significant investment. Believe me, it pays back for him. Oh yes, it pays back. It's a good ROI on that one. There's a significant return on investment. Happy wife, loving wife, feeling loved wife. Now, listen, again, this conversation isn't about flowers. It is about the conversation of asking for what you want. Look at your kids. A lot of you are mothers who listen to the podcast. And if you're not, just kind of go with me, right? Kids will tell you exactly what you want. Mommy, I want water. Mommy, can you come over here? Mommy, can you read me the story? Mommy, I want this. Mommy, I want that. And we teach our kids manners, I'm sure you do. Sweetheart, Mommy would be happy to. I want you to ask so politely. Mommy, could you please do this? Sure, buddy, I can do that now. May I please have that? Yep. But they're significantly clear on the things that they want, and they have no qualms asking for them. So what is it that holds us back? Oh, I shouldn't want that thing. I should just be happy with what I have. I don't really need it. So, I don't want to, or like me, he should just know to do these things for me. A husband just does these things. Or I'm not worthy of it. Everybody else's needs come first. We got the kids. and then there's my husband's needs, and then there's my clients or customers or coworkers or business like it's everybody else, family, friends, and then maybe, if there's any kind of time, energy, money left, then, I'll take a few of the scraps. Thinking that we are not deserving enough, worthy enough, just not enough. And that we should be grateful with what we have. And there's a piece of that's true. It's like, you know what, you should be grateful where you are, but it doesn't mean that you can't want more. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't want more. Because to stay exactly where you fucking are is like, it's a slow death backwards. Things never stay the same. There is no arrive. There is no here. There is no comfortable. That's called complacent. That's called mediocre. That's called watch when things start to decline rapidly. Think. If you have, let me give you an example. So we moved into a home. We're renting this home. We moved to Victoria, BC about a year and a half ago, and we're still not really like, where do we want to live? What neighborhoods? Like, we haven't not owned a home for like a long ass time. So it's almost like a little weird for us to rent a home, but it works for now. So the home that we're in, what we're responsible for doing is upkeep of the lawn, okay? It's a pretty big backyard and a significant front yard. We live in a neighborhood in Victoria where there's it's like an old neighborhood, lots of trees, so branches fall down. And we also live in Victoria, BC, which means that there's no snow really. I mean, you maintain your garden like year round and your lawn, everything. And most people actually get gardeners. They're really inexpensive. It's just a lot of fucking work because you're constantly doing that, right? And so we have a crew that comes in. Right now it's spring, like just every 2 weeks. Kind of like the dandelions are coming back, so they're pulling dandelions, and we did it. But here's the thing: we moved in last summer, and it was a shit show. The grass was yellow, that grass was so dry. If you walked on, the kids like, "Oh, mommy, my feet hurt." Okay, like overgrown. The gardeners came in, they were just like, "This has not been cared for in years." The previous tenants that were in, which were also a family, basically just did the only responsible for mowing, and everything else was just gone to shit. And so it took a number of weeks to get that thing repaired, probably so we moved in at the, end of July, middle of July, we moved in, or end of July. And then I'd say by September or so, the grass was green again. It took a long ass time, a lot of work, a lot of pulling of weeds, a lot of hauling away, a lot of debris, even just shit in the backyard, they had a busted old shed. I'm like, that's not even safe. It's just broken boards and nails sticking out. We're gonna get that stuff taken care of, a hole in the ground, just crazy shit, right? So it took us a while to get that maintained. And then by the time they kind of finished doing stuff by late fall, because the grass isn't growing, even though it's, it's still nice weather, it's cooler, and you don't really do much. The leaves have fallen, they've kind of cleaned up the leaves. It's like you just kind of, things just kind of go until spring hits again, okay? So spring hits, and we could sit back and say, you know what? We put all this work in, and now let's just sit back and do nothing. But no, there's still maintenance. The dandelions have started to come back a little bit. The lawn needs to be mowed. It needs to be watered. There is still maintenance that needs to happen. In other words, you can't just get to a place with a lawn, a garden, and then you just do nothing. Because if we do, it'll just revert back. Look what's already happened. The dandelions are returning back. They need to go through and kind of re-weed those and respray and all the stuff to take care of that. So if you think that your marriage is any different, that somehow you get to a certain place where it's just kind of, it's good, and that you just stop investing, it'll all revert back. You cannot expect things to either stay the same or get better if you stop doing the things that you did to get there. Ask for what you want in your marriage. You cannot read your fucking mind. It is up to you to be clear. It is up for you to communicate that. It is up to you, sister. It is up to you. And it might seem like something silly to you. You might go, oh, Karen, flowers. What the hell? I don't need that shit. I get it. It's whatever it is for you. It's also important for me with my husband that every single day when we say goodbye to each other or we leave the house or something, it's a kiss and that stuff matters, and I love yous. They matter to me. I know what I need to feel loved. And there were some of the small things which really matter to make a difference. And I stopped playing the game of wishing my husband would read my mind. And all of the shoulds and all of the, well, it shouldn't be up to me. I just dropped all that stuff because it never got me what I wanted. Now, every Tuesday, I get my flowers. Ask for what you want, sister. Here's your more tip for today. I want you to think, what is one simple thing, whatever that is for you, or what is that one thing that you need to communicate to your husband about that is your roses? Now, it could be actual flowers or roses. But what is the one thing that you want, that you need? And I want you to set up a powerful conversation and sit down and ask him for that. Do you know that I bet you your husband is like, please just tell me how to make you happy. Like, please tell me what you need to feel loved. Like, I love you. He's doing it in a way that he thinks. And you know what it is for most men? Work, providing, being a producer, bringing income in. That's how most men feel like they contribute. There's nothing wrong with that. And so when we come out and we go, no, honey, like, I appreciate that. That's great. But like, I need this, I need that. And they often will come from the energy of like, well, I'm bringing in the money. Like, what do you want kind of thing? Don't you feel loved? Because of the significance they often feel in that. And I get that because I'm a producer too. I feel significance when I produce, when I create value for others, when I'm paid money for that. That also lights me up. But I bet you he would do anything to know how he can make you feel loved when perhaps he's been trying and is like hitting his head against the wall going, I don't get it. Why don't you just fucking spell it out for him and stop making it a game? And why don't you give him the space to also have him communicate, sweetheart, how do you feel loved? Marriage is not that difficult, but it's fucking work. And it also means that you're honest. So your more tip is to sit down and have that powerful conversation. Share what your roses is for you and what his is for him. So sister, 3 things before we finish up today. Number 1, if you've not already visited Women Wanting More store, the new clothing line where you can wear who you are, which by the way, there is a couple things for men that are inside there now. T-shirt and a hat. You're going to love it, love it, love it. And a kind of a matching one, if you will, for you. So that's over at shop.womenwantingmore.com, shop.womenwantingmore.com. And you can pick up all your favorite gear there. Number 2, I want you to make sure to subscribe to the Women Wanting More newsletter, which, by the way, if you subscribe to the newsletter, you can also get a discount coupon to be able to shop in the store. So make sure to sign up so you can get the More For action item and teach you how to start your day in a place of power. 2 exclusive video trainings I shared inside a private Facebook group called The Experience. And you're going to get all of that when you subscribe to the newsletter and get VIP access. So you can get the discount codes for inside the Women Wanting More store. You get updates of new masterclasses that I'm teaching, live events. So head over to drkarenosborn.com/action guide and we'll get you hooked up on that today. And the third thing is to make sure that you grab your free journal. Do you realize there were so many of you that have not yet gotten one of the free Women Wanting More limited edition journals? I've sent out 451 to date in over 20 countries around the world. Every single one I send with my own hands, packaged up to you, sent with love to you, sister. So head over to drkarenosborn.com/free journal. You take care of a little bit of shipping. I take care of all the rest, and I'm going to send you some awesome swag within that as well. So I will talk to the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborn.com/newsletter.